Hi, I'm Dan and welcome to episode 57 of the Elements Dev Diary. Now, last week we looked at the configurable UI and we shipped that in a beta the same week. And then a few days later, we added the configurable workspaces manager so that you could configure your UI and save it as a preset and have a bunch of those stored up. So really great feature, and just the whole configurable UI is absolutely super. Now, I've not got anything brand new to show you this week, because what tends to happen is we add new features and then we kind of go into bug fixing mode, because I know there's a lot of issues you guys have been hitting with the app. And so now we've got this big feature out of the way, which was a huge bit of work and often takes longer than we would like, but we got there in the end. And now we've kind of switch back to bug fixing mode for a bit, and that's kind of the ebb and flow of it. I think I've said this before, but that's kind of how it goes. It's we fix bugs, then we add features and kind of fix more bugs, and it's all every step of the way we're getting closer to shipping this as a 1.0 product. So this week I thought we'd look at one of the projects I'm building, because we're building a bunch of projects that can be included in Elements as starter projects. They'll probably be included in Elements, might put them on the marketplace for the time being, just so you can have access to them there. But they're great starting points. So I thought we'd look at that, and then we could dive into a few of the sections in there and see how I built them, and then I can kind of walk through how to build those. Right, so let's dive into the project. So let's open up Elements. So I've got this project is pretty straightforward. I've set up 3 pages. They've all got content. I've got the contact page here, and Ben is currently working on forms. So we are working on a form solution, because that is the #1 request at the moment. So he's busy with that, but it's not ready to show off yet, but that is something we're working on. Right, so let's open this page up in the browser and you can have a look. So I've got some animation here on the header, and as I slide down you can see these things animate in here, and they've got a nice rollover. And as I scroll down, we've got these fading in, and this fades in as well, like slides in, and we've got this fading in there as well. Let's go to the classes page. The same again here. I'm using a global, so I'm just changing, all the settings are the same. I'm just changing the image and the text. Then I've got a timetable here, and this table is built up of grid items. It's pretty straightforward to do. I know you guys want a table editor, etc., etc. That's not high on the list at the moment, because you can do stuff like this or hand code it. But you do also have to remember there will be third-party add-ons for this. So while we might not provide the solution, other people will. But yeah, so this is one way to build tables, and I can show you how I did that. And you can see this is driven animation down there. And the same with these cards as well. They kind of slide up as I slide down, and this text here. Just a little subtle effect, nothing too over the top. And then as I roll over these, we've got this nice blur effect in the background. Just increasing the legibility on the text, and these resize as well. There we are, and there's this other layout there. And then again, we've got that little driven animation on the scroll wheel on this bottom section. Let's go to contact. Same again in the header. Then I've got these cards that slide in. These are all the team of experts, and then a bit more content here. And again, another banner down the bottom. Yeah, so it's a nice little project, 3-page website. But let's take a look at how some of these things are put together. I think let's look at the table layout. Now, this is great for small amounts of data. You know, you wouldn't want to do this if you had a massively long table that you needed to sort. But if you've got some information you just want to display cleanly, this is a very nice way to do it. I've also got the responsive sizing on here, so you can see the text changes size as I go up through the sizes. There we go, you can see it's very subtle, but you can see the text is very small there, and as I bring it out it just grows in size. So let's have a look at how we might set this up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste this whole section, and then I think we'll just get rid of these grid items, and we'll get rid of that container as well. So each row is a grid. So let's start by, I've just got this is just a basic empty container here, just to bring things in. So what we're going to do, we're going to start by dropping a grid in. By default, my grid is set to 4. And what we're going to want to do is, I want these items are little containers. So if I drop a container in, you can see it's now just taking up one section there. So let's drop some more containers in. So we can either do it in the editor or straight into the node browser. So now I've got 4 containers in my grid row, and what I want to do, I want a little bit of spacing between each of these. So what we can do is we can change the gap, and we want to add a horizontal gap. So you can see there I changed it to 1, and now we've got that nice little bit of spacing in between. If I changed it to 3, get some chunky spacing there. Let's go for that. We'll make it look a little bit different to this. So I've kind of got my 4 columns there. Now, depending on how many columns of data you needed, you can just increase this. So, you know, if I just wanted a 2-column thing, I could go like that. But let's increase this up. We're going to increase this to 4. And this is going to be my heading. So let's drop some text in here. And, you know, we'll call this Mac. Because this could be a list of different types of Macs. It could be anything you wanted. We're going to change this text to large. I'm going to set it to that font, and then let's go extra large. So there's my text. What we'll want to do is change the background color of these containers so we can see them. Let's do that. Background static. And let's have a look. Go for a kind of bluey color on the heading here. So that's looking pretty good. You can't see the heading, the background color in these ones because the container drop zone is covering it. This is something we're going to fix because it's a bit annoying that you can't see the background color, but it's on the list to fix. You know, it's not, it doesn't break the app or anything. So yeah, we're going to fix that. So what we also need, we need a bit of padding on this because these are butted up to the edge. So I'm going to select the container again, and let's go spacing, and let's just add a bit of spacing either side too. So there we go. You can see that's brought that in, and probably don't need spacing on this one. I think we'll leave it like that for the time being. That's looking good. I might change the color of this to white in the header. Nice. Well, we can do make. Let's drop, and I'm just going to duplicate this. So so you can see here, you can just build up your data like this. Okay, right, now this has got content that has all squished down to fit the content. So we are going to want to add a bit of padding above and below. So I'm going to select these 3 containers, and I'll press the blue line to link those together, and we'll select 2 on the padding. So now we've got our headings there. So once you understand how to put these things together, this is pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do now, this is looking good, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, this row here, you know, we could rename this. So I could change this to heading row, And what we're going to do, I can either select it in here and copy and paste, or I could right click and duplicate there. So that's looking good. Let's select these containers, and the background color, let's make this a nice light color. So we're going to want to make our text darker. So I'll select my text again, and did we have sky there? We'll make that darker. And for my content, I'm going to want my my text to be smaller. So we're currently on XL, so let's just move down to large. Okay, and we'll put some other data in here. Let's call that silver and 2023. So this is looking pretty good. What we want to do, probably want to add, I don't think the vertical is going to be the thing to do there, because there's only, because each of these are separate grids. This vertical spacing is not going to work there on the gap. So what we'll do is we'll put it in this, in the padding here, and this will just give us a bit of padding underneath. So there we go. Then we could, let's change this one as well. Whoops. Now these rows would be perfect things to make into a global. Then you could just change the content and drag all the globals in. Then if you wanted to change the look of it, you could easily you can easily do that, and they would all change in sync, which would be very nice. But as we're just doing this quick little demo, we don't need to. I'm not gonna dive into that. But what we will do, I think those gaps are too big, so we could knock them down to 1, and the same on the spacing here. Let's change that to 1, and on our grid, the gap, we'll change that to 1 as well. So now if I wanted more rows, let's just change that spacing to 1. So if I wanted more rows now, what I can do, I've got this, we'll call this row 1. So what we can do, I can just duplicate this grid. There we are, and we'll call that row 2 again, or I can come in here, select it, Command C, Command V. Then we've got, we'll call this row 3. And, you know, if we want alternating rows, I can just select these, and the background will go lighter on this one. So this is quite a nice little way if you've got. Let's duplicate this one, and then just pop it down here. Whoops, it's fallen out of the group. There we are. So this is a very nice way to set up some data like this. If you've got kind of dates and times you want to show, you're logging things, you just want that little collection. So this is really nice, really flexible, because you can do whatever you want with this. You know, I can put a button in there if I wanted a buy button, or a link button, or an image. So very, very flexible. And let's select this heading row. It's what I did up here. It's got a little curve on it, and I just need to do that on the end ones actually. So I can go to border, and we'll go static, and just on the radius on this corner here, let's go 2XL. So that's curved, and I select this one, advanced. Whoops, no, I want borders, static, and we want it on the other side this time, 2XL, boom. So that's looking pretty nice. So that's how I built this up. It's pretty straightforward once you know how it's built, and you can really flexible stuff. So you can do what you want with these. And of course you can do, here I've made the text get smaller, so it works on mobile, which is something that's obviously very important. So there you go. So that's how to do that kind of fake table. Yeah, I don't know what else would be useful really. I know some of you have had trouble putting some of these things together on the forum. This banner, we have a video on this, how to put that together. these grids are pretty straightforward to put together as well. It's once you know how to use the basic stuff, once you learn these basic tools, it really suddenly you can build whatever you want. This is very simple. This is, let's scroll down. This is just a 2-column grid, and I've just got some content there and an image. So I can drop in a grid. Let's spacing. Let's get a little bit of padding on there. Then I can drop in a grid. I'm going to do this quickly just so you can see how easy it is to set up. There, I've dropped in an image, and then I'm going to drop in my container, and then we need some text. And you'll see these are only taking up 1 column each, and our grid is set to 4, so I'm just going to bring that down to 2. And here we are. We've already got our content taking shape. And what I'd need to do, we just want a little bit of gap between there. So again, on the horizontal, we could set, depending on how much we want, you know, I could set it like that. And then let's get an image in here. Oops, I've put my images over here. Yeah, we got some gym images. Let's, we'll just drop that one in there. And then, yeah, I can just add more text here. So this would be a heading. And on this heading, we just want to make the size larger. Boom. And we'll set up our fonts and get that. So we could probably go larger. And yeah, it's, you know, as quick as that to build up these layouts. What I might want to do here is on the spacing, I want this to be left aligned, so we'll just turn this off and set this to auto. And I want my button to appear a bit bigger, so I can give it a little bit more padding on that, a bit more padding there. And I want to space these out, so rather than having to use a flex, I can just go into the content layout and set the gap so we can spread those further out. Remove the line height on there. So this is pretty easy, and to do it the other way around, we just need to swap these columns. So this container just needs to appear first in the list, and boom, there it is. So setting these things up, really easy. Let's put a nice border on this. So we go 3XL. I'll just give it curved edges. Boom, so that's curved now. And as this is an image, we can tweak the aspect ratio if we want. So there's a custom. So like if you wanted just to crop your images there, you can do that. So there's some handy tools here. Probably I haven't really seen anyone using these, but it is quite handy if you just you want to take that image and you want to make it smaller there. We'll leave that on auto, which is pretty much the size of the image. So that's how you do that. Again, all once you know these basic tools, you really can create anything. Yeah, so I think that's about it really. So if there's anything you want to build and you're not sure how to put it together, let me know and we can do some short tutorial videos on those showing you how to do various layouts. That's what this whole video is about really, just kind of showing you elements might seem a little bit complex when you first start using it, but once you get to know the tools a little bit, it really does give you the freedom to build whatever you want. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up here. We'll be back next week with some new stuff to show you. But for now, let me know what you're trying to build and I can record some videos for you and show you how to put that stuff together. All right, thanks for watching this one and I will see you again soon. Cheers, bye.